It's here, guys. It's finally here, the NVIDIA RTX 4090 Founders Edition GPU, currently the fastest gaming graphics card available. Looks like Big Red is gonna get an upgrade sooner than I thought. So this is how the new 40 series cards are gonna come packaged in. It's supposed to be more ecologically friendly. The box design uses less overall material and packaging, and it's classified as biodegradable. It's basically made mostly of paper. All right, guys, here it is. First time I'm opening it up since I got it in earlier today. I'm actually shaking a little bit. Oh, whoa, I like the presentation actually. Look at that, it kind of folds up into a display. Oh. Yo, this thing is an absolute chonker. Oh my God, it's so freaking heavy. I feel like 2023 is gonna be the year of GPU sag brackets. Watch all new case manufacturers next year come out with like GPU sag brackets already included in the case or optional add-ons for GPU sag brackets. Oh my God, dude, this thing is freaking thick. It's a thick boy. So after opening the box, it basically becomes a pretty cool stand or display for your graphics card, I guess. NVIDIA says that they noticed a lot of GeForce gamers holding on to their Founders Edition boxes as collectible items. So I guess if you're not planning on using your 4090, you can just display it in here like that. I don't see the point of it, honestly. I guess you can flex on your friends who are still rocking a peasant RTX 30 series card. Speaking of peasant cards, I don't have a 3090, but I do have a 3090 Ti to compare this card against. So both these cards are very similar in size. The 4090 is slightly smaller in terms of length, but it makes up in girth. Very similar to my situation in bed. You get the same ports in the back and the same 12-pin power layout, which is in the same stupid location as before. It's actually slightly more towards the right compared to the 3090 Ti. The biggest difference, however, is that the 40 series cards now come with a quadruple 8-pin PCI connector instead of a triple 8-pin like the 30 series cards. However, the last 8-pin is optional and you don't have to plug it in if you don't want to. It's more so for extra overclocking headroom, but if you do have the cable for it, might as well plug it in because it's gonna look really stupid with just one cable hanging loose out of your graphics card. Alternatively, the 4090 Founders Edition can also accept a single 450 watt or greater PCI 5 16-pin cable from a compatible power supply like this Corsair HX 1500i. So here are what the new PCI Gen 5 16-pin cables look like from the new power supplies. You got your standard dual 8-pin that plug into any dual 8-pin PCI or CPU connectors in the back of your power supply, and then you got your 16-pin that plugs directly into your 40 series card. Personally, I think this is the better option. You use less cables, so the build looks a lot cleaner, and you get much better airflow in your case because there are less cables cluttering inside the power supply shroud. In terms of pricing, the 4090 is supposed to launch for $1,600, which is a lot more than, what's the word I'm looking for? Attractively priced than the 3090 Ti's price tag of $2,000. Of course, take the pricing with a grain of salt. We'll see what the actual pricing and availability will be like when it hits the shelves. Another thing worth mentioning is that the power consumption of the 4090 is still gonna be 450 watts, just like their 3090 Ti. I'm obviously comparing the fastest NVIDIA graphics card available to the last generation fastest GPU, which in this case is the RTX 3090 Ti. You also get nearly double the teraflops coming from the 3090 Ti. However, NVIDIA does recommend using at least an 850 watt power supply in your build with the RTX 4090. In terms of performance, it's supposed to be 2 times faster than the 3090 Ti in the current games and about 4.5 times faster in next gen games. But of course, that remains to be seen until the benchmarks come out in the next few weeks. The cooler has also been improved. The fans are slightly larger than before with a different fin design. You can see how they had to shave off a piece of the chamfered edge to make space with a slightly larger fan. It's supposed to bring you 20% more airflow or 15% more airflow than a 3090 at the same acoustic level. So this is the PC I'm currently working on. I'm calling it Big Black. I know the name sounds weird off context, but it's basically Big Red's bigger brother. I'm tossing in the new 13th gen 13900K with the RTX 4090. It's gonna be an awesome build. It'll be available in the next few days, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I do wanna pop this card in now to see how much it's gonna sag without any support. Wait, is that enough? How many slots is this card? Oh, it's a 3-slot card for sure. Okay. Oh my god, that poor PCI slot. Oh wow, that's actually pretty impressive. Barely any sag at all. This portion is hanging out a little bit, but I'm actually very impressed. I thought there was gonna be way more sag than this. Even just using a built-in sag bracket like the one in this Asus case will help fix this issue. Look at that. But yeah, overall, very impressed. No sag at all. That's not something you guys should be worried about. Now, if I had a choice, I would mount the graphics card vertically, especially being a Founders Edition card. I feel like they look the best in a vertical position. Plus, it's gonna be a lot easier to route the stupid 12-pin cable towards the back. But unfortunately, I can't do it in this build because I don't have the vertical GPU bracket. So there you have it, RTX 4090 Founders Edition from NVIDIA, unboxing and hands-on. I gotta go now work on the PC build because shortly after, I'm gonna be upgrading my personal rig and I'm gonna bring you guys a final setup tour. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you very soon in the next one.